We are almost done with the CBA talk. We are almost done. Shout out to Venom. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Annie. Shout out to, I am blanking on her name. I think Doug's been down there. As has, I keep blanking on her name. She was the co-host on the Howard Magdal. Remember the Howard Magdal thing? Wait, did she just come up my TikTok? There's somebody else that's out there. No. I'm just trying to see if I can find her name. But it's hard to kind of find if you don't know exactly what to look for. That being said, I'm going to be very real here. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to everybody that has been covering the CBA. By the sounds of things, it is close to being done. And by close to being done, I don't mean it'll be done today. I mean they are very, like, the positivity that Terry Carmichael Jackson's talking about means that realistically it's a salary cap. So she says here, a salary system tied to revenue in a meaningful way remains top priority. Like, she's not said we need gross revenue, net revenue, we want this number. She said a salary system tied to revenue. So clearly there's something that is kind of what they're bargaining for. But she was asked on how far apart. This is what she said here. The continued conversations have helped us chip away at what the concerns are for both sides and how we meet them and how we address them. That is, like, I stand by is like Terry Carmichael Jackson there has been bad press with Terry Carmichael Jackson coming from the interview, coming from a few of these things. There has been bad press, but let's be very real here. As far as the communication during this, she has been the one talking to media. She's the one who straight away, and look, she's the one who went out of her way to get on Venom stream and talk and just, even if it's just say, we're moving. And that's all it is. Like, there are hours and hours, and people are like, oh, why are they spending 12 hours? Like, it takes 2 to 3 hours to get a proposal together. It is probably, we're going to spend, it's not them all in a room and figuring it out. Like, there's lawyers involved. They have to run stuff by. They have to get their own numbers there. They all have to get their own numbers, put their case, and then they're coming back with different things and explaining why. Like, this is a long process. And obviously he said, I think the league, particularly commissioner and her team, have heard that transformational remains the goal. And at the end of the day, like, first of all, the commissioner has no say in this. One thing I never understood is the WNBPA's insistence on attacking Kathy. Like, I don't like Kathy. I don't particularly like Kathy. I don't want to defend Kathy. But like, I will defend her at, like, it's not her fault. In that scenario. Like, I will defend her in the way of, like, it's not her fault at the CBAs, maybe it is her fault in 2022 as she sold off so much of the stock of the league. Maybe that is her fault. That is her fault. Nothing that Kathy has done in 2025 has negatively affected players. She's just a figurehead. Like, the people that they're actually annoyed at. Kathy gets paid a lot of money, so the people they actually should be annoyed at can just... I always say this, where it's like, people like a Kathy Engelbert, who are the faces of a company that are almost widely hated, and they're hated by a lot of people. These people make a lot of money for that reason. Like, I've been in the 2K industry. Like, 2K, I've been in the gaming industry and done a lot of stuff with 2K over the years. Like, Ronnie 2K for 2K is, like, as much as his job is to, like, promote the game, his job is also that he gets all the shit. Like, all the bad decisions made by CEO Strauss-Zelnick or people under him and all of these, basically the team that are pushing all the live services and everything. The decisions that have been made, the anti-consumer decisions made by them, like, Ronnie gets blamed for them all. So he's invaluable in that regard because they all get to, you know, not work. They can make their decisions and do as much bullshit as they want and not have to worry about getting attacked on social media because it's all Ronnie. And that's the thing with Kathy, was that the players are all attacking Kathy and she's got no say. And, like, people blame Adam Silver, man. Adam Silver's not even the commissioner of your league. He's not the commissioner of your league. But yeah, look, it is a all around good thing again. The tone is changing. The fact that she said, you know, both sides but the conversations we've chipped away at concerns on both sides. I'm like, okay, at least there's a different way they're communicating. This is very clearly a matter of when, not if. It is a matter of when, not if. Complete change of tone, almost done. Fee is on. Also, Fee is there. Fee is there. Fee showed up. Fee was at a concert last night, or was it 2 nights ago? I got a DM from somebody saying like Fee was posting of being at a concert, and I'm like, why is Fee not there? Like it made no sense. Like Fee hadn't been at a meeting at all, but like obviously she's here now. But this is the most positive I've heard Terry sound. A lot of the Terry is just jibber jabber, not giving anything new for us to learn. This one's interesting. Indicates rev share is the issue. At the end of the day, I've said this from the very start. Rev sharing is the biggest issue for players because they know they can't. The players cannot, and I mean cannot, say anything otherwise because the owners aren't going to give them the rev sharing system they want. They're just not. Not with no guarantees, not with no targets. They're not going to get a gross rev with no targets. Even if they could get a net rev that's an equivalent of 15-20% gross rev. Obviously, even 20 net rev is the equivalent of 18% gross rev. They could do that. I think the league would budge on that. But if they got gross rev, it would be the equivalent of 10% because there's just a risk involved. There's an inherent risk involved with giving out gross rev because of the expenses of the league. Like that is an issue. And it's one of those things where it's like the players don't understand, where it's like the league aren't going to give up on that. So if you are the players, you are pushing for gross rev as much as you can and revenue split and everything, because the last thing you do before anything is signed is you make sure you get everything. And she was like, salary is tied to that, where it's like, at the end of the day, the salary cap being tied to whatever revenue system, they could absolutely. And by the way, like with the way of an ever fluctuating salary cap based on gross revenue, whatever about that, like at the end of the day, the players could absolutely get a salary cap tied to whatever the expected gross revenue is in year one, and then it going up 5% per year. The players actually could probably get a salary cap based on that, but there wouldn't be any additional salary. And maybe that's the case where they're going to keep their rev sharing split, but maybe they take a lower rev sharing split for higher salaries. I don't know what they do, but at the end of the day, the longer they have to push this salary situation, they have to push this rev split situation, because it will allow them to get other things. Like in negotiating, it gives them, that's the leverage they have, is that they're pushing so hard for this, and they're going to be able to get other things from that. That is the big positive about all of this. For the players, is that they've already gotten the league in a lot of situations. Like, I do think what's going to happen is, like, I think housing is just going to be sorted. I don't think we're worried. Like, they need to worry too much about housing. I think housing is going to be fine. It'll be okay. Like, I don't think there's going to be any issues with housing anywhere. I think the housing is going to be a completely fine thing for the players. I think they'll get it. That being said, I think that players might get, they might get some of the retirement benefits, and if they don't get housing, they're going to get other benefits. Like, they're going to get a lot more. And what it's going to come out as, a lot of people are like, oh, the league are taking the piss. They're taking the piss. They're not taking it seriously. You look at their salary percentages. The league are conceding on almost everything else. Like, I don't think people understand how much the players are getting outside of salary that is going to be more than their salary. Like, the cost of per player in the WNBA is probably rising by 800, 500, an average of above 500k, between the travel being 5-star hotels guaranteed. So like, you've got 5-star, again, guaranteed 5-star hotels. You've got I'm pretty sure, is there guaranteed business, or sorry, charter flights guaranteed, all of these stuff. So you're looking at it and it's just like, okay, as much as you want to say, oh, you know, the player salary cap, they're barely moving a salary cap. It seems like the league are moving on everything else. And the league are waiting. What the league are trying to do is they're not trying to push up the salary because they've already conceded so much. And that's what these negotiations are for. At the end of the day, this is what it's for. Both sides are going to have to give up on some stuff. Both sides are going to get some stuff. And I think when it's all said and done, the players are going to be in a much better position than they were previously. So, look, everyone wants to say transformational. The deal was transformational 6 months ago. Compared to where the WNBA was, the deal was transformational. And for everyone saying, oh, but like, look, the not enough people are going to get paid, the middleman, the average doesn't matter. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, last season, the team who won the championship last season had 4 max contract players, or there or thereabouts on a max contract. And they had 4 of them who at the time of signing their deal signed max contract deals. And on top of the 4 to sign max contract deals, the rest of their team were either on minimums, near minimums, or were rookies. I was an entire team. Like, if you look at the Indiana Fever and their roster, Sophie Cunningham was below the mean salary, but she made, I think, 30K above vet minimum. I think Dantas was on around a little bit less. Like, and then the Fever had all these max contract players. The Fever had Kelsey Mitchell, Natasha Howard, and Dwana Bonner on max contracts. The rest of their team, every single other player on that team either made below the league average or a minimum contract or rookie deal. Like, every single player did. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Like, I don't understand why. And even if you look in the NBA, if you look at even like an Oklahoma City Thunder, how many of their players are on rookie deals? How many, like, you've got obviously Shea, Chet, and J-Dub, who are their extensions kick in next year, which means they have to get rid of Isaiah Hartenstein next year. But they got to get rid of Hartenstein next year because they can't afford him. The second apron stuff in the NBA, the Celtics just had to give up Porzingis, Andrew Holiday. Teams can't afford to pay people anymore. And that's the reality of the situation, is that for the top players to get paid more, like, even if there's no amount of salary cap, by the way, like, I don't think people understand that even if they keep the salary the same, like, oh, you know, they need to keep the salaries the same and the max salary the same, bump the salary cap. But that's not going to affect anything, because all that, the max contract, it just means that they're going to give an extra max contract out. It just means that instead of teams giving 2 max contracts and building the rest of their roster, or 1 max contract and a bunch of mid-tier contracts and a bunch of high to mid-tier contracts, teams are going to put 3 max contracts in and a whole bunch of minimums. Like, it's the same difference. It's the same difference because, again, this is basketball. Like, those mid to high tier contracts, like, are killer. Like, those Katie Lou Samuelson contracts are killer. Those Mercedes Russell contracts are killer. Like, it is. And now rookie contracts are a bigger chunk of the salary cap, these first round pick rookie contracts. So you're going to be seeing a lot less, when it comes down to the rookie contracts, you're going to be seeing a lot of them, a lot of first round picks getting cut. It's more likely a second round pick is going to stick. Like, if a first round pick, if they don't think they're going to be much, they're going to get cut. Because if they get cut, they go back on they go into a minimum salary. So they're in a really tough scenario if they go and get cut. But yeah, look, it's all around not a like an ideal situation for anyone. But at the same time, Fee is at these meetings, which is big, and it looks like we're close to being done. Thank God.